Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Thursday, May 13, 2021. BBC report. Kenya MP Moses Kuria admits taking $1,000 parliamentary bribe. It is not unusual for members to get this kind of an inducement, he said, adding he would return the payment. Mr. Kuria made the remarks as he and two other colleagues are to be censured for alleging payouts were made to back a recent constitutional amendment bill. Majority Leader Kimunya has denied that bribes are paid in Parliament. The BBC has asked Mr. Kimunya to respond to Mr. Kuria's specific allegation but has not yet had a response.
Deutsche Welle report. Myanmar jails journalist for anti-coup protests coverage. A court in Myanmar has sentenced a journalist to 3 years in prison for his reports on anti-junta protests. His organization said Thursday. Min Neo of the Democratic Voice of Burma, DVB, is one of the first media workers to be imprisoned since the military coup on February 1. He was arrested on March 3 while covering the protests in the town of Phea. The DVB said he was brutally beaten by police and denied visits from his family.
Fox report. Rockets fired from Lebanon land off Israel coast, IDF. As Hamas militants in the Gaza Strip continue to launch rocket after rocket into Israel, the Israeli Defense Forces Thursday said at least 3 had been fired from Lebanon, the country to the north. A short while ago, 3 rockets were fired from Lebanon into the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of northern Israel, the IDF tweeted around 3 p.m. ET. The rockets splashed down into the sea, officials said, but the launches risk further escalating a deadly conflict as the Biden administration is urging both sides to stand down.
Fox report. Arizona inmates battle raging wildfires. Arizona inmates are working to help battle raging wildfires rapidly spreading across the state this week. The inmates are being used to aid suppression efforts and fuel mitigation. FOX10 Phoenix reported Wednesday, noting that 2021's wildfire season has been extremely active very early. Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management Public Affairs Officer Tiffany Davila told the station that there had already been 2 Type 1 incidents and there were 12 hand crews made up of 20 members to help fight them.
CNN report. Tax day is Monday. Here's everything you need to know about filing your 2020 taxes. Okay, last call. Next Monday, May 17th, is the official deadline for individuals to file their 2020 federal tax return, and in most instances their state tax return, too. It's a month later than usual, thanks to the pandemic. But the filing deadline's not the only thing that's changed. Many of the upheavals over the past year have caused other changes to your taxes. Due to the COVID crisis, there are plenty of new and revised provisions and important dates you will need to know about before filing your return this year.
BBC report. Russia picks team for film shot on International Space Station. Yulia Parasold, 36, and Klim Shipenko, 37, will blast off in a Russian rocket from Baikonur Cosmodrome on 5 October. The drama has the working title Challenge. Russia's Roscosmos space agency says it wants to show space opening up for a wider range of people. NASA and actor Tom Cruise also plan to make a film aboard the space station. It is not yet clear when their Hollywood space movie, announced last year, will be shot.
CNN report how investors can protect themselves from rising prices. Inflation is all that the market seems to care about these days. Wages are rising, consumer prices are surging, and investors are worried the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates faster than expected to keep inflation in check. So what's an investor to do? The S&P 500 is down more than 2% in the past week and the Nasdaq has fallen more than 4% even with stocks rebounding Thursday. The CNN Business Fear and Greed Index, which measures overall market sentiment, also slid into fear territory Wednesday.
CNN report. Boris Johnson is anxious as COVID-19 variant found in India spreads in UK. Prime Minister Boris Johnson admitted Thursday that his government was anxious about the coronavirus variant first identified in India. As the number of UK cases of the strain more than doubled in a week, the UK government scientific advisors were meeting Thursday to discuss the variant amid growing concerns it could jeopardise England's plan to lift all legal limits on social contact from June 21.
Deutsche Welle report. COVID. U.S. relaxes mask rules for fully vaccinated people. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, on Thursday eased mask-wearing guidance for people who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The CDC no longer recommended fully vaccinated people wear masks outdoors in crowds, and in many indoor settings. The government agency said that people should still wear masks in closed, crowded spaces such as buses, planes and mass transportation, however.
Deutsche Welle report. Greensill. David Cameron defends lobbying for bankrupt firm. Former British Prime Minister David Cameron faced a grilling by Lomkerson Thursday over his lobbying links to the collapsed financial firm Greensill Capital. Cameron, who stepped down after losing the Brexit referendum in 2016, is accused of exploiting his relationship with ex-government colleagues for his own benefit. He used his Conservative Party contacts to lobby ministers and former colleagues with emails, texts and WhatsApp messages.
Al Jazeera report. Pam Turner, rally held for U.S. black woman killed by cop. Civil rights lawyer Benjamin Crump joined the family of Pamela Turner, a black woman killed by a Texas police officer in 2019 at a rally on Thursday, calling for justice in her killing on the second anniversary of her death. Turner, 44, was killed in May 2019 in the parking lot of her apartment complex after a confrontation with Baytown police officer Juan de la Cruz, who also lived at the complex. De la Cruz shot Turner after the two struggled over his stun gun.
Al Jazeera report. Armenia accuses Azerbaijan of new territorial infiltration. Armenia's leader has accused Azerbaijani troops of crossing the southern border and trying to stake claim to territory in a new escalation of tensions between the regional foes. Nikol Pashinyan, the country's acting prime minister, convened an emergency meeting of his Security Council on Thursday, saying Azerbaijan's army had advanced more than 3 kilometers, 2 miles, into southern Armenia. He said their neighbor was trying to lay siege to Lake Sevlich that is shared by the two countries.
CNN report. Players affected by tear gas in Colombia. Players and staff from Colombian side Junior and Argentina's River Plate were left rubbing their eyes in discomfort after police fired tear gas at protesters outside the stadium ahead of their Copa Libertadores match in Barranquilla on Wednesday. Demonstrations fueled by outrage at a now-cancelled tax plan have grown in Colombia over the last 2 weeks. Television pictures earlier showed the River team cutting short their warm-up on the pitch due to similar discomfort at the Romelio Martinez Stadium in Barranquilla, the city which will host the Copa America final in July.
BBC report. We Charity. Trudeau cleared of ethics wrongdoing in political scandal. The charity had been tapped by his government last year to oversee a volunteer program for students during the pandemic. Mr. Trudeau later faced scrutiny when it was revealed he had personal ties to the organization. But the report found former Finance Minister Bill Murneaux had breached federal ethics rules in the scandal. Mr. Murneaux resigned in August, although he denied it was because of this case.
Al Jazeera report. Ontario, Canada to keep ban on outdoor recreation for 2 weeks. Ontario's premier is keeping outdoor recreational activities like golf courses closed for at least 2 more weeks despite calls by health officials to resume them for physical and mental health. Premier Doug Ford on Thursday extended what he calls a stay-at-home order for Canada's largest province until at least June 2. Retail stores are open for curbside pickup and highways and roads are busy, but restaurants, including outdoor patios, are closed, as are in-class schooling and gyms.
Fox report. Migrants attempting Rio Grande crossing into U.S. nabbed by Mexican Marines, video shows. A video posted to social media on Thursday showed a group of Mexican Marines swarming in to apprehend a group of migrants as they waited to cross the Rio Grande into the United States. Fox News correspondent Bill Melligan captured the footage on his cell phone before posting it to Twitter. Fox News also captured close-up footage of the operation. The nearly 30-second video shows a group of migrants sitting on a hill overlooking the Rio Grande, just before the Marines move in on them.
Fox report. California teacher cancels class time and assigns homework instead to attend son's wedding in Mexico. As California parents are taking state leaders to court in their effort to reopen schools for in-person learning, a West Contra Costa County teacher told kindergartners last week that she'll be teaching from vacation in Mexico next week and cutting back on some class time. The teacher, Barbara McIntyre, has been working remotely due to health concerns surrounding the coronavirus. But she'll be traveling abroad to celebrate her son's wedding, according to an email sent to parents and shared with Fox News.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. Recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.